Welcome back to the Culture of Currency. Yes, another Wall Street Journal market report every single week, tracking how the metals we so love, gold, silver, the like, all did versus the market. Is it still a safe investment? All of those types of things, and of course more. This video brought to us by APMEX, the American Precious Metals Exchange. I love getting unique world pieces in my collection, whether it's that, generic bullion, whatever. APMEX has it all. It is a huge facility there in Oklahoma, has the best selection of unique silver, gold, palladium, copper products, and it is always the place I start my hunt, and it is always the place I end up ending my hunt because they always have unique features that I want to add to my collection. So thank you APMEX for sponsoring this video, and let's get to it. Yesterday, Trump and Putin met, as we all probably know, a historic meeting. We knew in the outright that a peace treaty would not be able to happen this day because only 2 of the 3 people needed for this were there. We did not see Zelensky there. He was not invited to this meeting. Putin would not have met if he came. So Trump will now, as he states, call Zelensky, and he'll be meeting with him next week. And then we'll have, hopefully, a new peace treaty. A lot of news sources like to go out there and say that this was a failed attempt or that it was a failure because there was not peace. Peace was never on the table in this meeting. It is the first and strongest step towards peace, so make sure you know that. So, as we get to the news, the big movement that I noticed that happened in silver was in India. India purchased a ton of silver this month. And being so, that's the only thing that I can point to that led to the market moving the way it did. Let's go ahead and get to the market report where we track our index funds. The Dow Jones being my favorite index. Right here, take a look. It's moving the right direction. As we can see, this is 65 days moving average. It ended at 44,946, so almost at 4,500. And that's very important because the all-time high in December of last year, 45.14. So I'm putting in the call this week. We will have a Dow Jones all-time record. That's my prediction. The other two, not so much. We saw that the Dow gained 34 points. S&P was down 18. So 6,449, not far, however, from the all-time high, 6,468. So about 20 points off, which makes sense because that's where we are. It's been at an all-time high a few weeks in a row now. NASDAQ, kind of the same thing. We have the 21,622 down 87 points, 21,713 being the all-time high. Down 87 points. This one tends to be a bit volatile, but it's still trending in the right direction as we can see. Also hitting many all-time highs over the past couple of weeks. So the markets are doing great as of the last, 3 months or so. And honestly, the international stock indexes are seeing pretty good growth overall. So is this a pivot where the world is starting to settle in as well? As we notice in the Americas, everything seems to be well within reach. I like to highlight things that are on the higher scale of gains or losses. Nothing really outside the ordinary there. We get to Europe and all of that kind of stuff. Pretty well and good. Nothing popping out as over dramatic. Switzerland at 61. Here we go. Now the Asia Pacific. We did have almost an entire point here in the Hong Kong markets. Not sure exactly what led to that. I need to look into that. And we have right here almost 2% gained right there for Japan. And we know Japan had a trade negotiation with the USA here recently, and the last couple of weeks they have had some awesome numbers. So maybe tariffs and things like that, and these negotiations are helping both countries, as we have seen. So I'm not sure on that, but that is what was promised, and that seems to be what's playing out. So let's go ahead and get to our metals so we can see kind of where everything sat for this week. When we look at silver spot, it ended the week at $38.25, which is a small step back, about 0.75%. 29 cents is what that looks like. Against the US dollar, however, it definitely fared better. That's the zone that we have come to know and love, that metals have beat the dollar over some time. Now, how about the Dow Jones and S&P? Well, we saw that both of the market sectors had a favorable outcome. Silver, not so much, though it wasn't very big of a detraction. The markets win the day. But don't worry, let's go ahead and check year to date just to remind you of where we're at. Stock market has been good, as we can see on this chart. However, silver has been great. It has gained $9 on the year, and this is just from January, by the way, and it is sitting at over 30%. That is just ridiculous. 30% gains. That's fantastic. In fact, I'm really doing well in my mutual fund investments, and that's at 17%. So 30% has been a fun thing to see. Let's go to gold now. All right, so gold, $3,351 sitting there. It did take a little bit of a tumble on August 14th and beyond. We see that that is about 1.75% down and about $60 down, which is quite a bit, but that's okay because as we see, we still beat the dollar. The dollar down, gold down as well, but not as dramatic. When we look at the Dow Jones and S&P, yes, once again, the markets win the week. But hey, maybe that means a good thing too, because that means America is doing great things in their economics. So that is okay. So Dow Jones, S&P, both doing well. What about the year to date? Just to remind you that from January, we see a different story. The market's doing great, sitting there 10%, but once again, gold sitting at 26.97, 27%, $712 gained on the year, which is fantastic. So year to date, silver is the winner, but week numbers tell us that the markets have won. So that is what we have for you. Great stuff going on. I hope for a peaceful week. I hope that Zelensky comes to the table with a peace idea and that we can get this war ended, as well as all conflicts across our beautiful land. So thank you so much for watching today, and as always, please remember to stay classy and current with the culture of currency.